Good afternoon. My name is Katie Pesha, and I'm the Executive Director of Communications and Planning for the Archdiocese of St. Louis. I'm joined here by Archbishop Robert J. Carlson, our new Archdiocesan General Counsel, Tom Buckley, our Chancellor, Nancy Werner, the President of Catholic Charities of St. Louis, Brian O'Malley, and the Executive Director of Queen of Peace Center, one of the Catholic Charities agencies, Laura Pennington. Sorry. The Archbishop will start by offering a prepared statement, and then we'll follow that up with a period of question and answers. So I'll turn it over to the Archbishop.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you all for coming. I'd like to share some words with you, and then I'll take some questions. My brothers and sisters, it is critical that I take legal action now about a serious threat to our first most cherished freedom, that is religious liberty. Today in court, lawyers representing the Archdiocese of St. Louis and Catholic Charities of St. Louis filed a lawsuit against the federal government of the United States of America, thereby challenging the legality of the HHS mandate. The threat to the HHS mandate imposes on Catholic hospitals, universities, schools, and charities in the St. Louis area is no small matter. The mandate, set to take effect in August of this year, requires us to violate our teaching on sterilization, contraception, and abortion-inducing drugs. The Catholic Church, led by the USCCB, has pursued every imaginable avenue to correct this problem without litigation. But in a few short months, the federal government will force Catholic institutions to choose between violating the law and violating our moral convictions. Right now, the future is unclear, and any scenario that forces us to violate our moral convictions is unacceptable. At the same time, any scenario that forces our St. Louis area hospitals, schools, and charities to close would be devastating to the many people employed and served by these institutions, including those of Catholic Charities of St. Louis. An exception for religious employer was made to the mandate, but the government definition of religious employer only includes Catholic organizations that serve primarily Catholics. It should come as no surprise to anyone that this exception falls dramatically short in protecting the religious liberty of Catholic St. Louis people. We help people because we are Catholic, not because they are Catholic. Please understand that every effort has been made to dialogue in this matter, and the fact is time is running out. As the pastoral leader of this Archdiocese, I cannot remain silent while the right of Catholics to practice our faith is eroded. Make no mistake about it, what this lawsuit is and what it is not. It is not about access to contraceptives. Contraceptives are widely available at low or no cost, and will remain so even if our suit prevails. It is not about politics. The Church did not pick this fight or its timing. The federal government did. By taking it to the courts, we actually take the issue out of politics. It is not a woman's issue. It is a human issue, a moral issue, and an American issue. Never before has the United States government forced the Catholic Church to provide a product that violates our religious beliefs. I will not stand by and watch this happen to the flock entrusted to my care. Religious liberty is the first freedom listed in the Bill of Rights. Thomas Jefferson said, "No provision in our Constitution ought to be more dear to men than that which protects the rights of conscience against the enterprise of civil authority." Religious liberty protects the ability of each person to pursue the truth, to embrace it, and to shape their lives around it. It is inherent to our very humanity, hardwired into us by our Creator. Religious liberty precedes the state itself. It is our first, most cherished freedom, and it requires constant vigilance and protection, or it will be lost. That is precisely why I take the action today, along with Catholic Charities, and join this lawsuit against the government of the United States of America. I'd be happy to take a few of your questions. Yes.
Archbishop, can you talk about, you mentioned that there was a possibility that you might have to close hospitals rather than violate your conscience as a Catholic. Is that a possibility if this effort does not succeed and the health mandate actually goes through? Do you actually have to close hospitals here?
Well, actually, the very reason why we filed the lawsuit was so that we would never have to face that. And I believe that we will be successful in the lawsuit that we filed.
But might you have to close hospitals if you're not successful?
We have not considered that possibility at this point. Yes.
Do you expect a lot of other organizations, Catholic and other religious groups, to file amicus briefs in the case?
You know, that's very hard to say. I just know that Catholic Charities and the Archdiocese have filed a suit. Obviously, we've received a great deal of respect from other religious bodies, and I assume that that will follow.
What about the Bishops' Conference? They might join the kiddo.
I don't know the answer to that.
Archbishop, as you probably know, at least two Catholic universities, Franciscan University, Ave Maria, have dropped their health insurance coverage for students because of the complications arising over the Obama healthcare overhaul. What would your recommendation be to Fontbonne University and St. Louis University, or do you know what their plans are?
Well, at this point, I would recommend that they watch this lawsuit progress through the courts. I have every reason to believe it will be very successful, and I think by heading off the mandate and asking for the courts to offer us some relief, that they won't have to make that very difficult decision.
So just to understand, you would recommend to those two schools that they watch this proceed before taking any action as far as health insurance coverage for students or employees?
Obviously, that's the very reason why we took this action. I can only take care of St. Louis. I can't take care of Ave Maria in Florida. Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about the cost of this lawsuit? Where is the money coming from for this lawsuit?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to say to all the Catholics who support the Archdiocese that the money that they contribute to the annual Catholic Appeal and other funds that we use to serve the poor, to serve our children in Catholic schools, etc., are not part of this fund. The monies to support this are coming from another source. Are coming from another source.
Can you say what source?
Obviously, that's something that we discuss with our attorneys, and from monies that are available for us to use, particularly in this case. Any other questions? Yes.
In your letter, Archbishop, you say that every effort has been made to dialogue in this matter. Time is running out. Can you talk about some of those that you're referring to? What dialogue in that sense?
I'd be happy to. Obviously, representing all the dioceses in the United States is the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. And through our government liaison and through the Office of the President, we've made every attempt to dialogue with the Health and Human Services about this. However, they've issued a final ruling which they say goes into effect in August. And what concerns us is they say that any decisions regarding this will be determined by a government bureaucrat whether we're Catholic enough or not. And there doesn't seem to be any movement on the government's part in that area.
Is this a coordinated effort with your brother bishops? Are other dioceses also filing lawsuits?
I'm aware that other dioceses have filed lawsuits, but I don't know who they are.
This decision was completely up to each individual archdiocese, whether to participate or not.
Obviously, every diocese has to make that decision as they best see the facts that are laid out before them. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our press conference today. Have a nice day.